I've had some parents come to me asking, how do I talk to my kids about death? So let's address the elephant in the room first. And that is that if you are scared of dying, or if you don't want to have to see their little face when they say to you, does that mean I'm gonna die? Does that mean you're gonna die? And the ensuing tears and fear, if you don't want to deal with all of that and you don't know what the right answer is, you'll probably shy away from the topic of death altogether. So I would do a little bit of inner work first before bringing it to my children and just find out, how do I feel about it? What are my fears surrounding this? So deal with your inner child first and then start talking to your child that's right in front of you. Nature is the best teacher, in my opinion. I mean, where else are you going to see the life cycle in action? You're going to see the changing of the seasons and eggs, possibly, some predator and prey behavior, some life cycle of a butterfly and a frog, or just pets in your home. I consider them to be nature too. I mean, what a great representation of birth, death, and everything in between, right? You're going to have an opportunity to discuss from a scientific perspective and also an existential perspective. So it doesn't necessarily have to go into religion, and it could go into religion. It's very flexible in that way. Next, I would say to head to your library, because you don't have to reinvent the wheel here. I mean, there are beautifully illustrated books, well written by authors who have already done all of the thinking for you. There are books that really get in depth about death, and then there are some that are just a very light and fluffy introduction. So when your child does ask you that question and you've done your inner work, you might say something like, you and I are going to do everything we can to keep ourselves as healthy as possible for as long as possible. You might start that by saying, yes, yes, everything that is living will die, but, and then you end on a positive note and say that you're going to be taking care of yourselves so that you can be together as long as possible. And I hope that helps. If you have any comments or book suggestions or resources that have helped you to have this tricky conversation, please leave them in the comments below.